connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit TakeTwoRadio.com.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host. And joining me today as my co-host is David. David, are you with me?
I am with you. Yes, I am.
All righty. How
are you on this?
It's a great thing because you're in New York, I'm in Chicago, we're both popsicles, so we never know if everything is going to work out, phone lines going down, internet going down, all that good stuff. So thankfully we're both okay right now.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Many, many times over, believe me. So, anyways, tonight we are so very pleased to have with us actor and impressionist and comedian. His name is Rob Magnotti. And a little bit later, we'll get a call in by actress Alicia Minshew, who most of you may remember. I'm sure you do if you watched it, from All My Children. And I have to remember to say Alicia because she says it different. I'm always used to saying Alicia. So, but she's got to be different. Let's see if Rob is on this phone line. Rob, is that with you over there?
Yes, I am, Pam and David. Hi.
How are you, sir?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing great. Nice to be on the show. Thank you for having me. I'm
You're
also freezing here in New Jersey.
Oh, you're in New Jersey. I was wondering where you were. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously cold out there, but we're warm and we're on the phone and having fun here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coffee in hand.
I heard you mentioning Alicia's name, and yes, it is Alicia.
Yeah, I know. I always forget that she says it that way, so I'm going to have to remember, Pam. But we'll deal with that in a little bit. Right now we're going to be talking to you, and we want to know, our very first question is, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
That's a good question. I can tell you when my comedy career started, though. When I was a kid in the living room, imitating my parents, my brother, family members, etc., watching TV, which pretty much, I think, inspired me since I was a child to seeing other comedians and watching those TV shows, watching my family react and getting excited around the TV, and thinking, this is an exciting thing going on here. I want to be one of those people on the TV.
That's what a lot of people that are actors and actresses, start out by saying. But you went further into that with doing the impressions. I mean, how did that come about? Is that just come out of nowhere one day?
Yeah, I think so. Imitating, as a kid, I would mimic my relatives that would come over, or probably my dad and my mom first and foremost, and then people on television. It's definitely an innate ability and something that I came to realize I can do as I grew up, and friends would get a kick out of it, and I started acting in the school plays and using that ability through acting. So it's something that you discover.
Now, when you were impersonating your parents, were you doing it when they were being nice, or were you doing it like, how kids do behind their parents' back when they're getting yelled at?
Probably a little bit of both, and I still mimic them today. They're in my act, so they haven't gotten
and what do they think of all of this?
Reason why I'm, do what I do, why I'm funny, why I have these abilities to imitate people and be in front of people performing, because my mom was a singer for a while, and my dad was a language arts teacher in New York City for over 30 years, and they definitely, inspired me to be on the stage, and my dad loved to dance, so you pick these things up when you're a kid, and you say,
right.
I can be on stage too. So they were probably my first inspirations.
Yeah, yeah. And parents normally are, even if the child doesn't realize it at that time. As an adult, you understand that more, but you seem to have taken that on early. So that's a good thing because you're good at what you do now and being inspired by them.
Thank you. Sure,
you're very welcome.
Helps. You definitely need support system, and they supported me, when I wanted to leave college and go on to the stand-up circuit professionally. So that support is always key.
Yeah, and you won't find that from a lot of parents, I would imagine, maybe more than I think that there are out there, because when my kids were little and they told me, I want to be an actor, I want to be a football player, I want to be whatever, and I tell them, you can be anything you want to be and go for it. It's not going to, be handed to you on a silver platter, but also back it up with some education. So I would have been one of those parents that would have said, no, don't drop out of college.
Sure, they originally said that, but then they said, well, hold on, how much are you making this weekend? You could go back to college if you need to, Rob. And no, they saw I had such a for it. And such a passion, and professional agents were coming to me and putting me out there, and then TV came around with sketch comedy. So it wasn't just dabbling. They saw that there was concrete proof I could do this for real, and they supported that. But of course, they're definitely advocates for education. But they also believed in me so much that they let me go do my thing, which I'm happy they did. Yeah,
definitely. Now, did you take any improv classes?
Sure, yeah. I've always done that through high school, college, and then Upright Citizens Brigade in New York City. I took classes there, and that's invaluable training, for an actor, for a comedian. I love improv.
Yeah. I would not be able to do that because I get stage fright in front of people. So, and it's funny, I know that I say that because I do this, but to me it's more like talking to my friends on the phone. I just don't think about who's listening in. Otherwise I'd be in trouble.
Right, exactly. Everybody has a different way to approach it, but Upright Citizens Brigade, improv can definitely get you through that type of thing. But it definitely works for me because I use improv with my impressions, I'm in the middle of Whole Foods, and I'm doing Nicolas Cage, by the health food section, realizing that wow, this is an absolutely amazing herbal remedy. I didn't know they had stuff that can cure vertigo made from a flower. I've got to buy this spray. It comes in pill form too. Yeah, you never know when I'm just gonna improv somewhere. Which is always fun and spontaneous. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of looks do you get from people when you're doing this in the middle of a store?
Yeah, I got a few stares by the bakery section as I was observing chip cookies like Al Pacino. Whoa, I like the ones with the double chocolate. This is unbelievable. Yeah, people kind of okay, he's different. Don't know exactly what's going on there. And I got my selfie camera out. I'm just this is normal every day for me. You can go about your shopping.
Yeah. So is that how you practice then? Get ready to do a performance, say at a comedy club or something? Do you go out and improvise like that?
Oh, I mean, I write my own material, and I write with my brother, and I watch what's going on in the world and my own life, and I mix it all together with my characters and impressions. But sure, if something comes up, at a store or wherever out in the world, I might funnel that into my act. So you always have to use the truth and real life, and I meld it together with my characters. So yes, I might be inspired by something from Whole Foods or wherever, a clothing store.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I would imagine, in the entertainment business use real life, but most definitely yours comes from it. And I've seen a lot of stand-up comedy and some great comedians out there, and that's when you laugh the hardest because you can just picture yourself in that type of situation as an audience member.
Exactly, you relate to it. It's got comedy's got to be relatable. So yes, I mean, the mall, for instance, is like, it boggles my mind these days. You know, there's just a distraction everywhere you go. The eyebrow threading kiosk lady's got the thread going. She looks like a human cotton gin. She's pulling hair off people's faces. You know, I go for cologne. They have these weird scents like Guilty by Gucci, $70 a bottle. And I'm thinking, I'm Catholic. I'm not paying $70 to spray guilt on me. Give me the cool water cologne, and I'll just baptize myself with that. It's nuts. Like, they have the DJs in the clothing stores, which I love. I love to dance. So, you know, I'm buying jeans. I'm, you know, dancing to Ariana Grande in the dressing room. But it's fun. It's a whole different way of shopping these days.
Yeah. I want to go shopping where you stop.
Yeah, well, they're out there. It's very Seinfeldian, you know. It's like, what's the deal with the DJs in the clothing stores? I'm trying to buy a pair of jeans. This lady's spinning Lady Gaga. This is crazy, but I'll roll with it. Hey, Jerry, I told the DJ I love Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. They're going to play it next, Jerry. Yeah. Hey, there's a T-shirt on sale, too. Hey, come on, Brookstone's having a sale on that massage chair.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, God.
The only problem with this is if I shopped where you shopped and you did those kind of things, I would probably either do one of two things: spend a lot of money on whatever you're talking about, or not spend any at all because I'd be laughing too hard.
I know.
Right, you'd be so distracted
right?
by the music and everything.
Forget what I even went there for. Now, David, you had a question.
Yeah, I did. Who would you consider to be the most influential in your career, in your life?
In my life, okay. Well, in my life, my parents, teachers that I've had along the way. My brother, definitely, who's my manager and helped me to get so many places like Letterman and Surviving Sam, and has just always been in my corner since I started in high school and college. So definitely, they're the most influential in my life. In my career, you know, comedians like Jerry Seinfeld, Rodney Dangerfield, a lot of comics that came out of the Young Comedian specials from Rodney Dangerfield, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, for sure, you know, George Carlin, Robert Klein, and the list goes on of legendary comics that have inspired me to do what I do. Louis C.K., Kevin James, you know, so
they're all out
there. Quite a list
of
great performers, that's for sure. I mean, you couldn't ask for any better.
Yeah.
Always making you laugh. One way.
Yeah. I read that you were on quite a few episodes of TV Land's Top 10. Unfortunately, I didn't even know about those shows, so I didn't get to watch it. But I know that you played yourself and not a character. So what was that about, and was that your first professional job, like, for TV?
No, I had done things before that. I had done the Cosby Mysteries. I played a police officer. I had done a little spot on the Conan O'Brien show as John Travolta, which was fun. But that, I think TV Land was definitely the first sort of interview type thing where I was commenting on television shows and characters. That's the first thing I had done like that, and that was a lot of fun. I had a comment on like wackiest neighbors in TV history, the hottest women in TV history. So that was funny because I got to be me, and then I would, you know, imitate the characters that I was talking about. Like I talked about Raymond and Robert, you know, and they said, so, you know, what do you think about that show? And I enjoy that show, yes, because it's one of my favorite shows, because I love Raymond like so many others do. And then, his brother was like the character next door, and you know, so I discussed things as Robert Barone for a little while and explained that, you know, he had his challenges in life and he was a wonderful, amazing, funny character, and the family was together helping each other all the time and, you know, conflicting all the time, and that's why he was such a great
Oh, my gosh. And that brings me to watching you on David Letterman in that video. I'm telling you, I never laughed so hard in my life. I had tears coming out of my eyes. Because, yes, one of my all-time favorite shows is Everybody Loves Raymond, and you are just spot on. I mean, how do you it's not just the voice, but, I mean, your whole body does the impression. How do you do that?
Thank you. It's sort of like a trans, like a morphing type thing. Someone told me once you have a lot of empathy for people. I could almost feel their aura, their persona, their quirks, their physicality, and I can replicate it. So that's, I don't know if that answers your question, but also it's an innate ability, and I just, I can hang out with someone and I start to, sound like them in a few days or a few hours. So I don't have a set system, but it's just, something I can do, and it definitely feeds into acting, when I'm playing a character or something like that, or even just playing myself too.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Everybody Loves Raymond was still on, today, and they had to replace one of those characters, you would definitely fit in, and people would be like, huh, at first, but, then get into it because you do them so well as, of course, many other characters, but you know what
Thanks.
I mean.
You had mentioned Letterman, and I have a funny story about Letterman, a few years back, it was 2007, but what happened was I was doing a show, and one of the executive producers saw me after the show and said, we've got to have you on the show, on the Letterman show. We don't know how exactly. And my brother was there. He was, my brother's the ultimate idea man, and he's like, how about, Impressionist Week? So that's a good idea. Anyway, they said, I didn't hear from them for a year. A year later, I get a call after they saw me at that show, and they said, Rob, we're going to find a place for you. We're not sure yet, but we're working on that idea. So then I get a Yankee gig. I had to perform for the New York Yankees at Hammerstein Ballroom. I needed a suit, so I bought this $800 suit, Joseph Abood, tailored to fit everything. I'm going to Hammerstein Ballroom for the Yankees. So I'm trying the suit on the night before the Yankees gig, and I'm thinking, wow, imagine putting this suit on for the Late Show with David Letterman.
Wow.
The day after, the next morning, I get a call from the producer of the Letterman show. Rob, are you interested in being on the Late Show with David Letterman on April 30th, 2007? And I said, well, first I extracted my head from my ceiling sheetrock.
Yeah.
and then I proceeded to say, absolutely, I am totally interested and available. So that's how that happened. It was so cosmic, that I got that call. I had that thought, and it manifested the next day. So the planets were really aligned, and it was just a cloud-nine experience. I never expected David Letterman to say so many wonderful things about me and react to my performance the way he did. And then the next night, they were bringing on John Biner, who was actually in the original Ed Sullivan Theater. Performing with Ed Sullivan, and he's bringing out John Biner, and he says, but did you see that Rob Magnotti last night? And I'm home with my family. I have drawers on the floor, and I'm going, did we tape that? No, but it was fun. It was really a wonderful thing to experience, and then you move on. Then you come down back down to earth for a while, and you keep moving along and working hard, and then you run into other things, and then Surviving Sam, and you're on cloud nine again with Alicia Minshew,
Right, definitely. Did you get to talk to David Letterman, after the show or prior to the show or anything?
No, just what you saw on the screen was my extent of speaking with him. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, that's something that's going to live on forever for you, in your mind. Such a huge, huge opportunity. And, I love how life works and leads you from one step to another, and you never know what's coming next, but it's usually something good and opens bigger doors for you. Did you get a lot of phone calls after that?
Sure. Actually, my website crashed the next day. So told me that was a huge amount of hits on YouTube and for that video and everything, and on my website, actually, my own website. So, and then yes, calls came in left and right from industry people and offers and mainly a lot of corporate and private events as well, personal appearances, things, and some great meetings. And actually, that spawned Surviving Sam, because the writers for Surviving Sam, who my brother met at his job at Fortunoff in New Jersey, they were lawyers, and he met them, and they said, "Oh, we saw your brother's Letterman appearance, and we loved him." And my brother said, "Well, now all he needs is a sitcom, a script, and a vehicle." Right. And so they said, they thought about that, and they talked with my brother, and then they came up with this idea about Surviving Sam, and they wrote the script, and they said, "We're going to build it around your brother." And so I'm very thankful and grateful to David Letterman for having me on his show and speaking so highly of me, because that's the ultimate endorsement.
Most definitely. And speaking of Surviving Sam, I do believe that Alicia is on the phone now, and I'm going to go ahead and pull her on if my computer will pick up the call.
Okay.
David, are you in the studio?
I am.
Can you press the button, because it's just spinning for me?
Let me see.
There we go. I talked about those technical difficulties.
Okay, hold on a minute. Is that her 212?
I believe so.
Oh, I can't reach it either.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Well, let's refresh the screen and have Rob imitate David right now.
Oh, God.
I might need a little more time with that.
Okay, let's try this again and see if it picks up. There we go. Alicia, is that you?
Hi.
Hi.
Well, can you guys all hear me? A little technical difficulty, a little issue. Is all as well?
Yes,
well,
yes. Thankfully,
yeah.
All I had to do was refresh the screen, and now you're here with us. And thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Are you kidding? I love Rob. And I love talking with you guys, and B, I love Rob. So it was really a no-brainer.
Thanks, listen. I love you.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to you talk about Rob. Wait until you see him. I mean, obviously you saw his Letterman appearance, but he's so good in Surviving Sam because you get to see him not just do impressions, but you get to see him act, which is what I love to do with him. So it's fun.
Yeah. Now, Rob plays Ben, and Alicia, you play Samantha. So you guys go ahead and tell us more about your character.
I don't think he plays Sven. I thought you said
no, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Ben, right?
Sven from Norway. Oh, that's
Yes. Yes, he plays. By the way, I have a little cold, so pardon me if I sound a little nasally. That's why. I have a little cold, and I probably can't talk long because I have to bathe my child. But all right. But I'm happy to chat for a little while. So Rob plays Ben. I play Sam, his high maintenance, prissy wife, and all the craziness ensues in our household with our two kids. I'm sure you filled her in a little bit, Rob, right?
Actually, no. We were talking about something else.
About you.
Right. We annoyed a judge so much with our divorce case that he sentenced us to live together under the same roof, and it is kind of for the sake of our kids. And yes, I play Ben. I'm an OCD, quirky, loving father and ex-husband to Samantha and to my two children, and I run my own advertising firm. And we're still very attracted to each other, Ben and Sam, but we definitely have our differences. She's wild, and I'm the quintessential family man, and she wants to, she'll tell you about that. But so you can see how, yes, the craziness ensues with the conflict there.
Yeah, it's I love the premise because I love the fact that there's these two people that they're so different. She's kind of the wild child, high maintenance. And he's the one that you love. She's the one that you love to hate. And you put them together, and there's this chemistry there, even though they're so different. But they can't live under the same roof. They drive each other nuts. They're getting the divorce, but yet you throughout all of this, you still see that these two people love each other. So you have moments of them fighting, and the kids are coming in, and they're fighting over silly stuff, and then you'll see a moment of pure, chemistry. You'll see how they still love each other. You'll see how the one thing that they always say is good between them is the sex. So in the middle of fighting, they'll say, take your pants off, and they'll get to it. And those are always fun scenes.
Yes, it's how we diffuse the arguments.
Exactly. And don't people do that? I mean, come on. Whether you're married, whether you're divorced, whether you're boyfriend, girlfriend, I mean, if the chemistry is there, whether you're fighting or not, it's there. And sometimes that will take over. And so they still have that, but yet they're divorced, they're under the same roof, and, it's confusing for the kids. It causes some hurtful moments. It causes some funny moments. It's a nice mix of comedy and drama, just of what this family goes through under this roof, trying to be a dysfunctional family, under one roof.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
then throw into the mix, you got that Dave guy, that cute guy giving you the eyeball.
Right, of course. So you see him. So we filmed the pilot. It was so much fun. We filmed the pilot, and that wrapped in December. And we're all dying to see it. And you'll see Dave. I won't give it away, but you'll see him at some point in the first episode, and then you'll see him later on in episode 2. And he sort of throws a little wrench in. In the middle of Ben and Sam, and who knows what's going to happen, but it makes for an interesting story. It gives us both something really interesting and kind of fun to play.
Well, I'm dying to see it because just from watching the trailer,
good.
Just from watching the trailer, my gosh, it's hysterical.
Oh, thanks. It's funny because I think it's a great trailer, and there's so many moments. Don't you agree, Rob? That obviously are not in the trailer, which is good. Because you don't want to give anything away, but there's so many fun moments from the show and powerful moments from the show that are not in the trailer that I'm excited for people to see. Like the courtroom stuff, Rob, and like
absolutely,
yeah. There's scenes where there's the trailer gives you a nice little tease of what it's about, but there's really so much with all the characters that you'll see a lot more of.
Yeah,
it's that art of creating the right sizzle trailer, and you're like, oh, I can't wait till they see that scene and this scene and this scene, but you can't fit it all in a trailer, so that's why it's a teaser.
True.
Yeah,
it's true. So, but I'm so glad that you guys like the trailer and that you're excited to see it. It's for me, it's been fun because I get to work with these funny people. That a lot of them come from the comedy world. And it's just been, I've never done that before. I've worked with all different kinds of actors, but to have, a few stand-up comedians, especially like Rob, to have these people that are just innately funny humans, it makes for a fun day at work. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not work then either.
No. I mean, like Rob, I never felt like, obviously it's work in a sense. Got to learn your lines, got to be present, got to long hours, but when we're doing the scenes, I just enjoyed every minute. And I feel like if you're going to be an actor, that's how you have to be. You just have to go, you know what, I love what I'm doing, and I love my cast and my crew, and just kind of be grateful for it.
Right, exactly.
Very true.
Now, were there at any point in time while filming this where you both were laughing so hard you couldn't get on to the next line that you had to stop for a minute and take a breather?
I wonder if we were just so focused that. What do you think, Rob? I feel like that happened more in rehearsals. Don't you?
Yes. Took the words right out of my mouth. Definitely in rehearsal, but we were very focused during the pilot.
We were pretty focused. You know why? Because time was of the essence. We knew we had 5 other scenes we have to do at 2 other locations, and we got to get this shot by this time because we're going to, So it was almost like a film set in that you got to go from location to location. You only have that location for a certain time, and so I think we were really, especially because it was the first episode. So I feel like the first episode of anything, you're finding your way with the flow of the whole show with the cast and the crew, and I feel like we all had fun and laughed, but I think we were all in like work mode. When Rob and I rehearsed, we would rehearse together. Oh God, I'm like the worst with getting giggles. I mean, all I had to do was look at him sometimes in the middle of a scene, right, Rob? I would just start laughing, and he'd be like, "What?" I mean, like laughing like for a while. I would have to every time he would say something, I would laugh. It happened quite often, didn't it?
Yes, but that's a great thing. As a comedian, I love the laughter, and then you make me laugh, so I'm having a great time too. And it's just funny. Even those when we would rehearse the dramatic scenes, and we actually had to be mad at each other, but it was like, are we actually trying to be angry at each other now? It was because we have such a great chemistry. We're enjoying so much, and
oh gosh, we always laugh. You know, it was never an issue if Rob and I were going to have chemistry because we always. You know, I feel like we have the same work ethic in that we both are hard workers and we take everything very seriously, but we also are just goofy, crazy people. You know, maybe every now and then we'll sing a little song, do a little dance, bust out in some random dialect, and we're very similar that way. I said, if there could be a fly on the wall to watch us rehearse, some of the ridiculousness that ensued, But that's when I was like, okay, this is going to be a fun show because we know when it's time to work, and when we play, we play.
Exactly.
Well, I think you guys should have videotaped the rehearsals because that would make a whole nother show for us to watch.
Actually, you know, it's funny, Rob, didn't Tony tape a few rehearsals? Tony's the writer, creator, producer. Didn't she tape some of our rehearsals in her office?
Yes, yes, she did.
And so I feel like we have a little bit of like random footage of us cracking up. I hope she still has that because I actually think it would be great to have like a blooper reel or something like that.
Definitely. I'm sure she does. I'm sure it'll be on there too.
Yeah. Actually, I do know that if there's any bloopers, I'm probably the one who messed up the most because I don't know if you were there, Rob, but there was a day where I was doing the phone call to you and I couldn't remember the line, so like me with my usual potty mouth, I cursed and said something that made the whole crew laugh, and they were like, "This is going to be on the blooper reel. Watch out." So, you'll know it.
Remember, I heard about that. Yeah, I was doing another scene, but I heard, and then
Yeah, I don't think you were there that day. I was doing a phone call. I was doing a phone call with you, actually, and I don't even know what came out of my mouth, but it was obscene, and they thought it was funny, and they saved it. So that may surface at some point.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to more of those bloopers. And I don't think there'll be a shortage of them because we have, not only we have a great talented cast and funny actors, but we also have Richie Minervini, Tommy Gooch, who are my fellow stand-up comedians. So between the three of us and Seamus and John, they have great sense of humor. And Gina Destra's, funny. Lish, forget about it. Funny and you know.
Everybody, the girls are great, the kids are great. I happen to love Richie. I think he makes a hilarious judge. In fact, whenever I watch him, he makes me smile because he's got this natural, funny quality about him as a person. So, and he plays the perfect, like, pissed off, annoyed judge. You know, like he just can't take us. We're just such an annoying couple that he just gets so annoyed, and he makes me laugh. So,
me too.
Everybody, everyone kind of brings their own different, unique thing to the table, which is one of the things I love about it. And that's, I think, in part Tony's good writing and Tony Maria's writing, but then it's also just everyone's different, and that's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a team effort, and my brother actually, his idea was to bring Richie in the part of the judge, so there's another example of team effort even from outside the cast.
I mean, we owe a lot to your brother.
My brother, Big Al.
True, man. And he's been there through the whole process, and it's nice that you guys are having us here on the show to talk about it, even though it hasn't come out yet, just to sort of get people aware that it is out there and that, it's in the works, and I hope people will enjoy it. It's something fun.
Oh, they're going to love it. Do you know how many episodes there's going to be for the first season? As you see, I see first season.
Right. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, is it 12 or 13? I think good.
But it was 13 is what they're planning on.
That's what they're planning on. I feel like that's the usual, like, I mean, I know in many of the primetime shows they do like a full 13 episode, but you never know. I mean, sometimes people chop it in half, sometimes they do more. I know that the original plan is to do 13. So that's we've already gotten a few other scripts. I told you, Rob, I keep saying this. Episode 2 makes me laugh out loud.
Me too. Me as well. It's
I
funny.
read it, you guys. I let my husband Richie read a scene that involves Rob and a bumblebee. That's all I'm going to say. And
oh my God!
And if I tell you, Richie, my husband, it takes a lot to make him laugh. He was laughing out loud. He's like, "This is damn funny." I said, "I know." And can you picture Rob doing this? Yes, we can. So I feel like it's just going to get better and better because the more you get to know the characters, the more fun stuff you can have them do.
Definitely. One of Ben's quirks is he has a little bug phobia happening, so that's part of the quirkiness of Ben.
Right. He's scared of bugs, and my character's she's annoyed by the whole thing, and she's kind of a bitch, but she's a bitch that you kind of love. You're like, okay, she's bitchy, but we kind of get it, and he's just funny. He's just quirky and funny and scared of bugs, and so of course, when a bee comes in the picture, you can imagine what happens with that.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, Samantha, Alicia's character, she's prissy and high maintenance and she's tough, but just when you think, oh wow, she's bitchy, all of a sudden she shows redeeming qualities and on a loving side and a depth to her character that's really fun to watch.
Thank you. Well, gosh, I mean, I hope so. That's the thing. Like, as you guys know, if someone's playing somebody who is sort of bitchy by nature or high maintenance, you have to give them redeeming qualities, or the audience is not going to care for them. So
right.
So I have some nice moments with when Sam is with her husband or her ex-husband Ben, telling him just some loving moments with her husband, some really nice moments with her kids to show that she's a good mother. And I think those are important moments because if it's just one level of being a bitch, you go, well, why do I care about this woman?
Right.
So it's nice to kind of give take the bitch away for a minute and give her some nice moments with her family. And then she'll be bitchy right after that.
And we're
you can't attack my husband.
Watching.
I'll shred him, but you stay away from his ex.
And you're saying you're used to that?
Yeah, we're used to. I mean, by watching the soaps, one person that came to mind when you were talking about that is Vincent Irizarry's character on All My Children.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how many bad things did he do? But there's no way we were going to let him off of that show. I mean, we loved him.
Of course, exactly. I mean, even for several years when I played Kendall, well, she was just awful. And they ultimately gave her redeeming qualities, and it was mostly when she was with her husband and her kids. It's kind of the same idea.
Right.
She softened a lot towards the end, but it was kind of similar in that she really had this side to her that you just do not like, but yet you see her soften when she's around the man she loves or her children, and that's why I said I feel like Sam is similar to that in some ways, to the character that I played before. So it's kind of easy to tap into. And then I say, if you ask my husband, he lives with a high-maintenance, prissy wife. I'm like, do I have a little bit of that? Sure. I admit it. I'd like to think I'm much nicer than the characters I play, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
My husband may beg to differ, but...
Yeah, but then he sees you with your beautiful daughter, and he will change his mind, from every time, I'm sure.
Right.
Now,
Well,
this debuts possibly in March, yes?
Well, that's what we were originally told. I don't know if you know more than I do, Rob. Do you know more than I do?
Just that we'll be slated to tape more episodes in early spring, and soon. They want to air the pilot soon. That's what I've heard.
That's right. I think it was originally supposed to be airing in the springtime, like March, April. I don't know if they're going to air the first episode then, or if they want to tape a few more before they air it.
Okay.
So they're telling us the springtime. I'm going to stick with that because that's what we've both been told. And then when we go back into production, we will definitely have a more concrete date so we can come back with you and say this is the actual date. But I know springtime has been mentioned. So
Okay, good.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, that's not too far away, although it doesn't feel like that right now. But, yeah, it's not that far away.
Oh, my God. I would really like springtime to come now. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's cold.
Is it going to be available to watch on the Surviving Sam website or YouTube? Do you know any of those things?
That I don't know.
It's going to be on an exciting new platform, and they're going to let out details on Facebook soon, and everybody in the cast is thrilled that we're going in this direction with it. So it's a dramedy web series, and we're all psyched to be part of it.
Yeah, I know we have a bunch of new sponsors and that have come to sponsor the show, which is great. And so we don't know, I don't know if it's going to be just like on YouTube or the site. I think it's going to be another platform. I think that's what they're going for. So I don't even want to say, yes or no to that because we don't know. And until we find out what it is, we can just say, kind of stay tuned, go to the website. It's on Facebook and Twitter. We'll definitely let you guys know when the actual release date is in the spring, and we'll know exactly where it will be streaming, where you guys can find it, and we'll let you know.
Yeah, and that's survivingsam.com, and on Twitter @survivingsam, and I'm sure Facebook is the same too. It's pretty easy to find, so keep on the lookout over there. I know I'll be keeping track of it. I'll be bugging.
I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. You guys, listen, I love you all. I have to go and deal with my kid.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Rob, you know I could sit and chit chat with you all day about everything.
Of course. Yes.
Is there anything else you want to add before I leave, or you guys want to ask, or you want to just go and have your fun with Rob, because you should.
I was talking about how the cosmic factor, how the stars aligned. When I was on Letterman, that I got the call the day after I had mentioned it, and the suit thing and everything. And then the stars aligned again with Alicia, because we had been having meetings with Surviving Sam producers, writers, for about a year and a half. Then they said, well, we're going to start throwing some names at you for actresses to play Samantha, your wife. And I said, all right, so this one and that one. And then all of a sudden they said, how about, they emailed me a picture of Alicia. How about Alicia Minshew, Rob? And I was like, Alicia Minshew, of course. Oh, my God. We were in acting class together 17 years ago.
Oh. I forgot to mention.
So how cosmic is that? And I said, of course, and then we met and we hit it off at the meeting incredibly well. And they were like, oh, my God, we knew you guys knew each other. But when we saw the chemistry, we were like, oh, they're Ben and Sam. Totally. So that was fun.
It's so funny. I just called you Ben. Rob, I forgot about that. And by the way, talk about another cosmic thing. I would say a week after all my children went off the air, when I was living in Los Angeles, is when I got the email from Tony about Surviving Sam. Tony is the creator of the show. Right when all my children was ending, boom, this other project sort of comes, and we were planning then, we were still living in Los Angeles, but we were planning on moving back to New York. So it was kind of like, you're leaving LA, come back to New York, I have a fun project for you. And then when they told me it was Rob, I was like, I know him. He's a really funny dude from my acting class from 15 years ago, right? It was a long time ago. We were kids then. You know what I mean?
That's right. Perfect timing.
We were kids. And then, I remember just thinking, okay, this is just the universe saying, you know what? All my children's over, and you're going back to New York, and you have an opportunity to do this, and it's with somebody that you knew from years ago that you really liked, and then boom, we met again, and we all had a lunch meeting, and it was like, this was, Rob, this may have actually been 2 years ago, in March, that we had the lunch meeting. I just remember it was cold. It was cold.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I do too.
Right, and then it was just kind of a great bonding of people, chemistry, whatever, and then cut to 2 years later, we've shot the pilot. We have a great cast and crew, and we're doing it. And it's kind of just great how things kind of go the way they're meant to be. You just kind of got to be patient. You have to be patient, I've learned, and just kind of go with the flow.
Yes,
right.
That's for sure.
And they looked at 250 actresses, and out of that amount of actresses, it's Alicia. So, and I just I knew.
So I didn't know. Now I'm really flattered. Maybe I wasn't supposed to know that, but I'm flattered anyway. And I love, And I love that it was us I love that we kind of knew each other, but it was like it's come full circle. We didn't really know each other well.
Right.
But we knew each other and we were friendly, and yet, boom, as soon as they showed me your picture, I said, I know him. And now
that's right, and I like the whole full circle thing, and getting to know you more than I ever did, and working with you. So it's
yeah. Now
so much fun and just awesome experience.
We've laughed together, we've cried together, we've kissed each other. I mean, come on, you know, we've done it all almost.
Yeah. What didn't happen maybe back then, they all came to fruition now as actors.
Do now, exactly. Yeah, it all kind of happened organically, so that's kind of special, I think. And we've stuck around with the same group, and I like that everyone's, like I said, these things take patience, and I think if you have the right group to work with, you kind of you wait until it comes together the way it's supposed to.
Definitely.
I'm so looking forward to this. You guys, I'm telling you, I could listen to you talk all night, but we know we have to let Alicia go because your daughter's waiting for you.
Well,
so.
Willow's she may make an appearance on your show in like any minute, which would be kind of cute, but she'd be like, "Where's my mommy?"
Oh, she's so beautiful, Willow. She's so adorable. And Richie, her husband, such a great guy. I met him a few times, and
he's great. He's a big Rob fan, by the way. Whenever we're talking to anybody about it, he's like, "Oh, you got to see this guy. He's hilarious." He's a big fan of you, Rob. He really is. Big fan.
Tell him my thanks. I'm glad. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys, listen. Rob, I can't wait to see you. I hope I see you soon. I know I'll see you soon.
Yes. We'll see each other soon, Liz.
You guys, thank you for having me on the show and letting me crash Rob's party. Now you can.
I don't know. You're a welcome guest anytime at my parties.
Talking with him and
on the radio anywhere.
Yeah, I like to crash your parties. All right.
Well,
have fun, guys.
We appreciate it. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You guys have fun. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye, Liz.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Wow, I just, it's not the first time I've spoken with Alicia, and I just absolutely adore her. I mean, she's been one of my very favorites from all my children, and now I love seeing her grow as an actress and doing all these new things, and Surviving Sam is definitely going to be one of my favorites. I can tell just from the trailer and just from hearing you guys talk about it. You're so passionate, and you loved what you did.
Yes, we do, and those are I echo those sentiments about Lish exactly as you do.
It's so funny that you guys knew each other from a long time ago, too.
Yeah, which, feeds in ways to the script because Ben and Sam have been together for 17 years. And so that number, 17, and, 17 in the script,
right?
it's once again, it's cosmic, And I also want to say,
wait a minute. I got to throw. Okay, go ahead. But remind me, I'm going to tell you about the 17 thing. Okay, go ahead.
Give a shout out to the two young ladies that play our daughters, who are fine young ladies and actresses. Jerry Plinio and Victoria Hughes. We had a lot of fun with working with them on the pilot, and Shayna as well. Shayna McDonough, who plays our youngest daughter. She's absolutely adorable. So. I know I covered everybody in the cast. It's a fun cast. We had so much fun making the pilot, so just wanted to give that shout out.
Your friend Tommy Gooch just said, "Love the interview and shout outs too. Love you all." So that's what he just tweeted.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, and Tommy as well. Yeah, we had a fun time on the pilot. So yeah, that's really cool.
Well, what I was going to bring up about the number 17 is that happens to be my birthday in April. And from what I saw after I watched the Paul Blart Mall Cop Part 2 trailer, is that's when it's going to be out in the theaters. So since you were in there and you can tell us a little bit about that, I think you should come to Chicago and take me on my birthday.
Well, the premiere in New York is the 11th, but maybe I'll have to see where I am. But that sounds like it will be fun.
Yeah.
Wow. So your birthday's on the 17th. You know something that's weird because my birthday is on September 17th. Oh my God, these numbers are really to have meaning here. But yeah, I'm very excited to be in the Paul Blart movie opposite Kevin James in one scene. He's just a wonderful guy. He's hysterical, and he's a actor, producer, director. The guy's so talented and hilarious. That was another Cloud 9 experience working with him for sure. And also Richie Minervini, who's in our cast as the judge. Mel is in the movie too. So, I got to see him. We hung out on the set in Las Vegas. And, just a privilege, an honor and a privilege to work with Kevin James. And just so much fun. We did the takes. It was a casino scene. And we had a really funny moment between our characters. I'm a gambler at the craps table, and he's Paul Blart. And it was so much fun, the moment we had. And it's like, wow, I've walked by movie sets before going, oh, who's filming over there? And now I was the guy working with a star, and all people are crowding around going, what's going on? So it was just a great experience. And to boot, after we did, I think it was 20 takes, because they had to get so many different angles of the craps table, when Kevin got freed up a little bit before the next scene, he came over and he playfully elbowed me, and which is a little intimidating because he's a big dude and he does MMA, but he meant it in a playful way. And he goes, great job, Rob. He goes, we got so much great stuff. You did a great job. Awesome. And that was like, okay.
Oh,
and
that's great.
Yeah, Dave. And then he said, before you leave the set, he's like, I'll see you at the premiere. And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's so cool. I'm going to the Mall Cop premiere. Here I am. I'm thinking I just want to say bye and thanks for having me in the movie and everything. And, the premiere again. So that's coming up, which will be very exciting. This is an awesome experience. And, I was in New York, and I had met Kevin. We chatted a little bit. And about a week or 2 weeks later, I got a call from Marsha Ross Casting in Los Angeles saying you've got the part in Mall Cop 2. So, again, totally awesome experience and just a pleasure to work with Kevin and the director and producers out there. A lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, my gosh, so am I. I mean, the first one was so funny, and the second one, of course, looks just as funny. I have to ask you one thing, though. I mean, you can see in the trailer that Kevin James is sliding across the floor. And I mean, does he do all of his stunts?
As far as I know, definitely all of them. There might have been one or two things where I think he had to go between buildings, but I'm not sure about that. But I think he does all of his stunts as far as I know. Yes. Wow. Absolutely. He's a very physical guy, and he's just amazing, with physicality and stunt work and movement and everything. So, those slides are hysterical. When he does that, I crack up. As well as all the other great, he gets, he falls over, and oh, my God, it's like, how does he do that?
Yeah. Would you ever do your own stunts in a movie if you had to? I mean, I know a lot of people I've talked to said that, they got a role because they said, oh, sure, I know how to ride a horse, but had no clue how to do it. Is that something you would do to get a role, or would you go and, take a class or something?
I mean, it depends, but I would definitely ride a horse in a movie, and I do kickboxing, and so I would do that type of thing. It would depend upon the stunt, I think. Jackie Chan's willing to break bones, and then he heals them with, some Chinese herbal remedy in, 3 days or something. I'm not into that type of stunt work. Yeah. But I would definitely do some stunt work with the proper supervision. I did a little bit on Surviving Sam. I have to, trip and fall and kind of fly onto the bed in the bedroom. So that was my foray into the stunt world.
Wow.
At least you had a soft landing. David had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did.
Go ahead, Dave.
You worked with Ron Howard in A Beautiful Mind. What did you learn from working on that movie that you take with you now in your career?
First of all, that was another wonderful experience. Always been a fan of Ron Howard's, Mr. Howard's, and he did such an incredible job on that movie, A Beautiful Mind. There was a few things I think I took with me. I was actually an extra. I started out as an extra. And don't always think you'll just be an extra, because someone came into the tent and said, they pointed at me to say, we'd like you, Mr. Howard, we'd like you on the set up in this shot. So I became then like a featured extra player kind of, and I actually had a line with Russell Crowe. So, it can be parlayed into another role. Also, he directed me, which I didn't think was going to happen directly. I figured I'd be in a group of people, but he came over, called me by name, and said, Rob, we're going to do this, and I want you to step over here and look as if, and act as if this, you can't see the person, but they're there. And he directed me. I said, I can't believe, that little voice in your head's going, I can't believe this is happening. Oh, my God, Ron Howard's directed me. So just to always be a professional and be alert and on the set and listen intently to, the people that are running the set and the director, of course, and always do your best work. They also told me don't say hello. They had this thing, don't talk to Mr. Crow, and they were spreading this around that, don't make eye contact with Mr. Crow or something like that. And I was waiting for my first shot, which was an outdoor shot. And I'm like roaming around this North Jersey grounds of this historic building, and all of a sudden Russell Crowe is in my eye line. He's walking up by himself. I'm standing there. We make eye contact, and I go, oh, how are you today, Mr. Crowe? And he goes, good day, mate. And, and nothing happened to me. I didn't get thrown off the set and put in jail. So, sometimes you have to bend the rules, and but it depends upon the scenario. Sometimes, someone might not want to be talked to, but that situation, that worked out, yeah. And I got to work with Ed Harris briefly, hanging around with these guys and just, listening on the set. Brian Grazier was standing right behind me. It was really a great experience. I was in an acting class at the time, and I took off to do that role and be in that movie, and so it was just exciting to jump into an actual Hollywood movie like that. And I wound up in like three scenes technically in that movie. Two is this extra, and then the one more prominent part, I was an MP behind the desk at the Wheeler Laboratory. So.
Wow, you're making the rounds, dude.
The theater that they're going to be premiering Mall Cop in is the Ziegfeld Theater in New York City in April. And the funny thing is, when I heard that, I remembered that in high school I had gone on a class trip to the Ziegfeld Theater, and then I knew someone that was in an animated movie that they directed. They invited me to their premiere at the Ziegfeld Theater, and then now the Mall Cop premiere is at the Ziegfeld Theater. So that's my lucky theater in New York City so far.
And let me ask you, is it on 17th Street by any chance?
I don't. Yeah, if that is the case, then this is the. Yes, suddenly the number 17 has extreme power qualities to it. Right. It's everywhere you turn. Number 17. A very Ziegfeldian. What's the deal with the number 17? It's everywhere.
So I think we all have a number that follows us around. My number happens to be 10. 3 out of 4 of my children were born on the 10th. So, and there's other things that go along with it. But I think we all have our number, and I think that's yours. So just watch for it. You'll be amazed how many times it comes up.
Yeah. And also this weekend I'll be hosting the Oscars party live at the Madison Theater at Malloy College for the Long Beach International Film Festival. I'll be doing my comedy and hosting a viewing of the Oscars on the stage at Madison Theater. So that's an exciting thing, and really looking forward to that this weekend. And they're going to be raising funds, that's on my mind. They're going to be raising up and coming filmmakers and future filmmakers. So some of the proceeds will go towards that fund, which is a great cause.
Definitely. And for our listeners, go to robmagnotti.com and you can find his schedule and everything there. If you have not watched the video of him on Letterman, you have to watch that. I mean, you will be laughing for days, just as I have been. I can just think about it and start laughing. So I have to stop thinking about it so I keep my mind straight for a minute. And it's And his last name is spelled Magnotti. So RobMagnotti.com.
Yes, thank you so
Same
much
thing on Twitter.
I'm really glad you enjoyed it, and thank you. Well, and I hope maybe we'll see you in Chicago at a comedy club sometime. You never know. That would be nice.
Please let me
I do
know.
corporate events,
Please let me know.
events, etc. So
yeah,
you never
definitely
know.
let
in
me
the
know.
windy. Yeah, I would definitely let you know.
David had one last question for you before we let you go.
Okay. Yeah. What was it like touring with the cast of The Sopranos?
Oh, it was very exciting. I've always been a huge fan of the show, and that it was at its height at that point. So here I am. I get to meet Michael Imperioli, Steve Sciarippa, Vincent Curatola, Lorraine Bracco, and Paulie Walnuts, Tony Sirico, all these wonderful people. It was really exciting, and it was a fun. I got to meet James Gandolfini too. God rest his soul. When we in Atlantic City. So it was very exciting, a lot of fun, very Vegas-style show. I did comedy along with two other comedians, and the Sopranos did some sketches, and they sang, and they did a panel of questioning. So it was just, these guys are like the New York Yankees, and you're kind of jumping in there with the, at the top level of show business with an amazing show, a historic show, and just being around the backstage area, on the stage, working with them, talking with them, getting to know with them. And then they invited me to Westbury Music Fair and these other venues, Foxwood. So a very exciting experience and a growth experience, just a lot of fun. Harris Hotel and Casino, and it's great. They were taking pictures the first night, and Michael Imperial always like, Rob, get over here. It really was a nice thing to get pulled into a picture with the cast of The Sopranos.
Definitely, and what wonderful keepsakes for yourself. I mean, I'm sure you got copies of those pictures, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of them are on my website, too. And I have to give credit. Ray Garvey, you might not know him, but he was the guy who put myself and several other comics with The Sopranos because they needed comics, and he was just a wonderful man, Ray Garvey. He helped so many comics with their careers, and he broke down some barriers for us and brought the Borgata Casino into play and brought so many great comedy to that. So I just want to say, God bless his family, and thank you. Shout out to Ray up there in heaven. So it always is someone that, it's never by yourself. It always takes a team and someone to give you a hand and a leg up in this business. And I'm grateful for all the assistance that I've had from my friends and family.
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate it, and we expect a lot more great things from you. And I look forward to following you in your career. You have a fan for life here.
Oh, thank you so much, Pam. And Dave, I really appreciate it. It was wonderful being on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. You enjoy the rest of the evening, and we'll see you in Surviving Sam and Paul Blart and everything else that you got going real soon. So take care of yourself, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Dave. Take care.
You too.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I truly, truly mean that. I mean, David, just by watching and just by talking to him and watching the trailers and all the things that he's already accomplished. I mean, he's done a lot of major things and worked with a lot of great talent out there, and he's going places, that guy.
Yeah, he's going places, and he's not going to settle for a long time.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
There's more in his future for him.
For sure. And you're out there in New York, and, they always have a lot of things going on, so you should try to get out to that sometime, and maybe go see him live. I would love, love, love for him to be here in Chicago, so I'll just have to wait my turn. But how far is Uncle Vinny's from you? Because he's going to be there in March. Is that far?
Vinny's is... is it the same one where they send the...
Yeah.
That one?
For the soap, for the soap people. Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Oh, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. That's a stretch for me.
Is that February? He's going to be February 18th. Actually, that just passed. So February 22nd is the Madison Theater at Molloy College. Dangerfield's Comedy Club to be announced. They have to get a date for that. And then, like I said, March, he's at Uncle Vinny's on the 6th and 7th. So for all of our listeners out there, there's more dates in March through April. So check them out. See if you can get to see them at one of the comedy clubs or something. You won't be sorry. You will not be sorry. You will go home with your stomach hurting from laughing so much and tears pouring out of your eyes.
I know. Oh, my God. I couldn't stop laughing. I thought Kramer was going to jump out of my phone.
Yeah, and I didn't even get to touch on him doing John Travolta as Vinnie Barbarino and also from Saturday Night Fever. Oh, my gosh. Dances, and please, people, please watch the video. Go to his website and watch the video. You can even watch it on his IMDb. He has it up there. And the trailer for Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is also on there, and you can watch it. So funny, so funny. So I want to thank Rob and Alicia for calling in today. We really enjoyed speaking with you guys. We're very much looking forward to seeing Surviving Sam. And, again, check out their website, survivingsam.com. Follow them on Twitter. Check out their Facebook. Alicia, I got to say her name correctly, on Twitter as Alicia_Minshew. And Rob Magnotti is the same, just his name. So, follow them. You're going to have a good time, and we'll have them again very soon. Love talking to them. Thanks, guys, a lot for that. And thanks, David, for joining me tonight. And I'm working on some other dates for other shows, so check out the website at take2radio.com. That's with the number 2 for any upcoming guests. I should be getting some answers back shortly. So everybody enjoy the rest of their evening. I'm going to watch my favorite shows, The Big Bang Theory, and then The New Odd Couple with Matthew Perry. Oh, my gosh, I cannot wait to see that. You going to watch it too?
I'm going to watch it too.
All right, wonderful. Then we'll watch it together. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit take2radio.com.